Holy sh! Guys, in this video we're going to be talking about some massive announcements from Nio Day, how that changes my outlook on Nio stock. And let me just say this, I think that Nio has just proven that they're not just some, cheap rinky-dink company. They are here to stay. They're coming for Tesla, they're coming for Ford, they're coming for GM, the Germans, Japanese, Koreans. No one's safe. Nio's coming. So it's going to be a really interesting video, and if you're a Nio shareholder, you want to watch this entire video through. I'm actually going to share my new outlook on the stock. Hint, it's a lot more bullish, and I'm going to give you reasons why I believe Nio can actually become a much larger company than it is today. So anyways, there's going to be timestamps in the description down below if you want to skip ahead. I respect your guys' time, so feel free to do that. But if you want to watch the entire video, here is the agenda. First, we're going to talk about a major partnership announcement that Nio made. Then we're going to go through a new car that they announced and some huge battery improvements that they announced, and this is the real game changer. And finally, we're going to talk about my updated price prediction and outlook for Nio stock. So all I ask, guys, if you could just take a second, hit that like button down below. It truly helps out the channel tremendously. And if you're brand new here, like I know a lot of you are watching this video, hit that subscribe button, join the family. We'll be making tons more Nio videos, so you don't want to miss out. Now, I want to make sure that you guys have the proper understanding as to where I am when it comes to Nio, Tesla, other EV stocks. I've been an investor in Nio back from the dark days when this company was, just about to hit bankruptcy. And I bought the stock in the single digits with my cost basis under $6 per share. Yes, I'm up massively on my position. Yes, I still hold those shares. And no, I don't plan to sell them anytime soon. Now, the other thing you need to understand, and I need to be sure that I'm being, transparent with you guys with, is that I am a huge Tesla bull. Not only do I own Tesla with a cost basis of around $55 per share, yes, another big winner for me, and yes, I still hold this stock, but Tesla has also become my largest position by far in my portfolio. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, I also personally own a Tesla Model Y Performance. Made a video on my outlook on the stock when I bought that car, and I really understood Tesla's power. And I have a price target of $2,600 per share on Tesla. But if that wasn't enough, I have influence from Nio stock, influence from Tesla stock. Now I also have influence from NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA is another stock I bought in 2019, another one of my most successful investments, because I got this stock around the $150 to $160 mark, and I still hold those shares today as well. Needless to say, these three companies have done me well, but you may be wondering, why am I talking about NVIDIA in this video? This brings us to our first topic today, the major partnership announcement that Nio made. So Nio and NVIDIA will be partnering on next generation electric vehicle tech. Nio will be using NVIDIA's Drive Orin system on a chip, or SoC, for its new generation of electric and autonomous vehicles. Now this chip, guys, is an absolute marvel. It's the world's highest performance AV and robotics processor, capable of 254 trillion operations per second, while also being able to scale down to entry-level ADAS level 2 use cases. If that was a mouthful, yeah, it's kind of complicated, but all you have to understand is that this is some incredible technology that NVIDIA has that Nio now has access to. This chip will actually first be used in 2022 in a new flagship car that Nio just announced as well, which we'll discuss in a minute here. Now guys, in my opinion, this was actually huge. A lot of channels are kind of just mentioning this and moving on with the next big thing about Nio, but I think we need to spend a minute here and just reflect on how important this partnership really is. If you didn't already know, Tesla and NVIDIA had a partnership many years ago, and these NVIDIA chips were actually in Tesla cars. Eventually, Tesla decided that they're going to go their own route. They made their own chip, so they broke off that partnership. But since then, NVIDIA has kept improving on their chips, kept improving on their technology, and clearly you can see here they have something that is miles ahead of any other competitor besides maybe Tesla. So now with this partnership with Nio, it gives Nio the leg up from every other manufacturer. Maybe the exclusion could be Tesla. But what this means is that the other manufacturers are just in big trouble, and Nio right now is just in China, but as they start expanding to Europe, North America, and the rest of the world, look out, because this new autonomous technology that they have access to from NVIDIA is not going to be something to sleep on. The other thing that this partnership does for Nio is it kind of gives investors a ton more confidence in its brand. Like, if you're an American investor, typically you don't feel too comfortable investing in foreign companies like Chinese companies, but when you have an American tech giant, one of the largest companies in the entire world based out of America, that is partnering with this company in China, it adds a lot more credibility. That's just the bottom line. And even for myself as an investor that sometimes skeptical about foreign stocks, I have to say this is definitely a smart move by Nio, because it adds so much more confidence, so much more peace of mind, and it just makes me feel like Nio is here to actually take things seriously. So needless to say, this was actually a huge factor in me upgrading my price prediction, price target for Nio stock, which again we'll discuss shortly. The second thing I really want to discuss here before we get into price predictions is the new car and the new battery announcement that they just had. So Nio announced a brand new sedan, the ET7, which is actually meant to rival the Model S from Tesla. The ET7 will have two battery options, a 70 kilowatt hour and a 100 kilowatt hour, which will actually provide 500 kilometers or 700 kilometers of range respectively. Eventually, they'll also have a 150 kilowatt hour battery option, which may have over 1,000 kilometers of range capacity. Now, we'll discuss more about this battery in a second, because another game-changing announcement. But back to the car, this is actually set up to be their flagship performance model and should do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in under 4 seconds. Now, the car should also have full self-driving available using LiDAR technology with that NVIDIA chip we just talked about. And this is going to be different from Tesla's approach with the camera technology. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this pans out. But this will only be available sometime in Q1 2022. Now, in terms of pricing, because that's important, it's going to be a few different options from Nio. You can choose between a 70 or 100 kilowatt hour battery, and they also have a Premier Edition available with the 100 kilowatt hour battery. Pricing is competitive, but honestly, guys, the true value here is with their battery as a service, or BaaS offering. They're able to significantly cut down on cost by offering BaaS, and this, in my opinion, is going to bring so many new customers to the brand. Now, you may have caught it, I briefly touched on the 100 kilowatt hour battery from Nio, so let's talk about that for a second. This will be a new ultra high energy density battery based on solid state technology, making it extremely efficient and advanced. According to Inside EV, once this battery is out, all of the current models will see a nice bump up in range if you choose to go with that battery size, making these cars so much more appealing to the average consumer who has range anxiety. Nio is just going through the list here of, customers, potential customers that have concerns with electric cars, with next generation cars, and they're just checking off every single box. Soon there's not going to be a reason to not own one of these cars, either Nio or Tesla. The future is extremely exciting for this industry. Now, along with their sedan here, I would not be surprised to see some mind-blowing pre-order numbers. The affordability with that car, if you go with the BaaS option, is out of this world. I don't think a Tesla is going to be able to compete right now, but the good news is for Tesla shareholders, it's going to take Nio about a year for this car to actually be released, so Tesla can get their act together. They can bring a new cheaper model in. They're working on the Model 2, which is like a $25,000 car. That may be out by then. Guys, I'm excited to see what the competition has in store for us here. So in my opinion, these were pretty much the most important things from Nio Day, summed up real quick for you guys. But now what I want to discuss is my updated price prediction for Nio Stock. So if you've been following the channel, you know I have been extremely tough on Nio Stock. I'm bullish on the company. I own shares in the company like we discussed, but it was very difficult for me to kind of wrap my head around the valuation that the stock saw prior to Nio Day. At this point, in my opinion, the market has decided that Tesla is going to be the #1 player in the world for EVs. Thus, it has a $830 billion market cap. Now, after Nio Day and kind of with the build up here to Nio Day, I think the market has decided that Nio is going to be the #2 player globally when it comes to EVs. Nio is now at a $92 billion market cap, and guys, based on today's numbers and results, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But if you are convinced, like I am now, that you gotta see Nio from a different lens, like it's gonna be the number 2 after Tesla, this is still a cheap stock. Yes, I said it. I can't believe I'm actually saying it. Nio may actually be cheap here at around $60 per share. I think that, if this is true, Nio is actually the number 2 player. Say they become, a company that's a quarter of the size of Tesla. So that'll equate to around $200 billion market cap. That's a double up from what we're at today. Now, if we're a little more bullish, say they're about half the size of Tesla, that's a $400 billion market cap, and now we're getting to some massive numbers. So a lot of people are bullish on Tesla because not only do they have EVs, but they're also going to be massive in energy. Guess what? After Nio Day, Nio has proven that they can actually scale up their energy business as well. They only recently announced a 100 kilowatt hour back in November, like 2 months ago, and now they're announcing a 150 kilowatt hour 50% increase, new technology, solid state in a matter of months. It's absolutely crazy how exponential this growth is, this innovation is with Nio and with Tesla. And I think that, I was way too bearish on Nio stock going into this, and I've changed my outlook and I'm now a Nio bull. So based on this new information, I think that it's very possible that by the end of 2021, probably much sooner, we'll see Nio sitting at around $100 to $120 per share on the conservative end. I think that a couple $100 billion market cap is not going to be that difficult for Nio to hit, especially with all this new money flooding into EV stocks. And as Nio keeps scaling and they become more global and they start selling the cars in Europe, North America, different parts of Asia, guess what? More money is going to start flooding into the stock as more consumers get exposure to this brand, and it's going to help push the stock even higher. I think what we're seeing kind of with Nio, just kind of an aside, is that a lot of people that missed out on Tesla in the early days feel that Nio is now kind of the Tesla a few years ago. So they feel that if they buy into Nio now, they can get that huge run up that Tesla's seen in Nio stock. And that's probably another big factor that's pushing Nio much higher. From Nio Day, I think that the company has shown me that they're able to innovate quick, they're able to scale, they're able to adapt, they're able to introduce new technologies, and they're just executing extremely well. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, you changed your mind on this? You were saying Nio is going to be much lower. And to that, I'd say, yeah, I did say that. I was wrong with that. But a smart investor will always take new information and adjust their outlook based on that new information. And I'd like to think that I'm a smart investor, so I've adjusted my outlook. In my opinion, the market has decided that these traditional automakers, BMW, Toyota, Ford, GM, they are not going to be significant, relevant, anything to really worry about in the future. And it's going to be companies like Nio, Tesla, who knows, maybe other companies like Xpeng, Li Auto, some of the others that really dominate cars, autonomy, and energy going into the future. Now, I really see Nio kind of going in the footsteps of Tesla here. Tesla started off with cars, and they started working on their full self-driving, they started expanding to energy. That's exactly what Nio is doing, guys. So I think the future looks bright for this company. And I think, like I said, $100 per share at minimum by the end of this year is probably very likely. So guys, if you're a Nio shareholder, it's got to be exciting times. Let me know in the comments what your price prediction is by the end of 2021. Love hearing from you guys as always. And also let me know, does this change your outlook on Tesla? Does this make you more worried if you're a Tesla shareholder? Love to hear your thoughts on that as well. I have no plans to sell my Nio stock. I think many millionaires will be made from this stock here in the next few years. And you know what? I'm going to hold on for this ride. I think it's going to be a fun one. Let me know in the comments if you guys are as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.